It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. Metro Detroit is home to one of the largest Lebanese communities in the country, and many in that community are grieving. That's because since March, the latest war between Israel and Hezbollah has wrought devastation upon Lebanon. In the south, towns and villages have been leveled. At least 62,000 buildings were destroyed by May. Over 1 million people have been displaced, and over 4,000 people have been killed. For Israel, 32 soldiers have been killed, along with 4 civilians. There's a shaky ceasefire now, but it's only days old, and Israeli forces are still occupying parts of southern Lebanon. What does it look like to be forced from home only to return to rubble? And how does all the violence and instability ricochet among friends and loved ones here in Metro Detroit? Mervet Mackey is the owner of Divine Dine Detroit, a catering business in Dearborn. She immigrated to Michigan from Lebanon in 1990, and she's been using her earnings to make donations to folks in Lebanon. Mervet is here with me now. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So this latest war between Israel and Hezbollah has been going on since March. I mentioned the towns leveled, the people that have been killed, and the many more displaced. I'm wondering, what have things been like for you here?
It's been very rocky and very emotional, very stressful to watch the news and to see all the people on the streets. You know, family sends us videos of people in tents. My immediate family are living in tents on the streets over there in Beirut because they had to leave the south. It's been very, very heartbreaking.
You're living in two worlds at once.
Yes, two worlds. One, like you wake up, you could never have a restful night of sleep because you wake up at 1 a.m., check the news, 3 a.m., check the news, 7 a.m., and then throughout the day you're working, you're constantly watching your phone for, what house went down now? What area of your village has been leveled? Who died? Who's alive? Where's this person? Why isn't this person answering their phone? It's a very rocky, like an emotional roller coaster. Like you're, okay, I'm not gonna watch the news now, but then you go back and you can't not watch it.
So you go back and forth between wanting to stay as informed and connected as possible to then feeling so forlorn, so devastated by what you're seeing, what you know is happening to people that you care about, that you want to unplug.
Yes, I wish I could disconnect. I tried, but it's very hard.
We keep hearing the word ceasefire, but Israeli strikes have continued through it, and more than 80 people were killed the same day the latest truce was announced.
Yes.
Your in-laws, who are in Lebanon, when they hear ceasefire, I'm wondering if you know what that word actually means to them right now.
It means to go back home. It means to go home, and which one of them did go home. It didn't last hours. She went home, and it was midnight. She cleaned her house and was ready to sleep, you know. Finally, she's home with her kids, and it was like 11:45 at night. There was a bombing very close to her, so she had to get in the car and leave.
I mean, this is emblematic of the human spirit. It's like you just want to go home and continue life and be able to enjoy those little things that being home
just
can
being,
offer you.
Like the simplest things, you know, having a cup of coffee in your regular mug that you always drink in, something as simple as that. Showering in your bathroom, you know, throwing your towel on the floor if that makes you happy, and not worrying I'm at somebody's house, I'm not home. I have to attend to other people. I'm not living in my own house. My kids are not comfortable. It's very hard.
I wonder if for you, Mervet, knowing what's happening in Lebanon, how that has changed the way you proceed through daily life and appreciate those things that you talk about, sipping coffee out of that mug,
Like,
taking a shower.
I'm so grateful. I'm a very grateful person. You know, I've learned to become this way, but this war has taught me that no materialistic things mean anything to me. Nothing. I used to like things. Now, I wanted to change my car. I don't want to change my car anymore because my car is doing what it's supposed to do.
And that's all you need is
That's,
just to
like,
get from point A to B.
And then like you said, I have like a few mugs that I brought with me from Lebanon, and every time like I drink in it, I'm like, oh, this is where I bought this from. Like this was here, that was there. I wonder if it's the same, how it's gonna be when I go back, if I get to go back soon, if the shop that I bought this mug is still there.
So drinking out of those mugs from Lebanon is a connection to home, but it's a connection to a home that may not be the same home that you remember.
Not the same. Even if the home is there, are the people there? You know, the rocks can be, you know, even though you lose memories in those homes, the memories you built, the memories will still be in our hearts. But like when you know how you look at something and then, oh, you know, this house reminds you of this neighbor that died years ago, or, okay, maybe that's not going to be there, but are the people going to be there? Am I gonna get to see my nieces and nephews that are there? I hope so. You know, I don't wish bad upon anybody, but am I gonna see that old man that used to serve me the dessert in my village? Is he gonna be there? The store is not there, but is the man gonna be there?
I want to think about the different ways that the conflict is being talked about and reported. And actually, I want us to listen to something. This is a video from the Associated Press. It was published last week. The reporter was in the southern city of Tyre speaking about the destruction to that place and its consequences.
Residents are surprised to see the widespread destruction in the city despite going through numerous wars, including one just less than 2 years ago. They say this is the worst one yet. Even the doctors in this hospital, some who have worked for decades, say that in the past they had felt safe working at a hospital despite the widespread destruction nearby. But this is the first time they have felt unsafe being a doctor, a medical worker, despite the history of conflict in this troubled country.
So the reporter mentions the numerous wars Lebanese people have endured. Lebanese people I talk to are quick to emphasize their resilience. But ongoing war has to change people in a lot of ways. Can you talk about that?
I think it just makes them stronger. It makes our people stronger. I know from my family, a lot of them are just stronger. My dad says, it's okay, we'll rebuild the house. My father-in-law is like, it's okay, as long as everybody's around, we'll rebuild the house. But how many times are we going to do that? You know, it's very hard, always starting from zero, starting from ground up. It's very hard, especially watching all the people go. For me, it's watching those little kids, orphans, you know, widows, mothers losing their young, you know, men and young children. Like, I have a 23-year-old. I call him if he's out at 12. I'm like, where are you? I can't imagine a mother not having her son return home.
What kinds of conversations do you have with your son about what's happening in Lebanon and also about your previous life there?
I've told him a lot of things I did there. Like, my childhood was all in Vintage Bed and South. It was very nice, but it was also very scary. Like, I was maybe 6 years old or 7 years old. I've watched the Israeli army break down a house, not with a bomb, using like a bulldozer, taking down the house because the woman, she had a 16-year-old child, I believe at that time, or a 17-year-old, and they wanted to take him as hostage, and I guess he fled. He went. We don't know where he went, but that's what I remember hearing. And they went inside her house, searched her house, looking for her son. He's not there. They made her stand outside barefoot. I will never forget that scene. And
You witnessed this as a kid.
Yes, as a kid. I remember my aunt was trying to push us inside the house, but I was looking from the hole, and I witnessed it. And I remember I was crying, but where's she going to sleep now? Are we going to bring her to sleep at my grandparents' house, or what's going to happen? But that scene will never leave my house. My
Your
memories and
in some ways it sounds almost more traumatic than the instant destruction or demolition of a bomb, to watch the slower demolition in this way of
and
a bulldozer.
I remember she was crying, and she was just saying, like reading verses from the Holy Book. I remember like she was saying a lot of, she was crying, but she raised her head up and said that God will reward me. That's the resilience you're talking about. That there's a strength that the Southern people have that I don't know where they get it from.
I mean, this story reminds me of a guest we had on the show back in March, Abbas Alawiya.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up in Dearborn, but he's often gone back to Lebanon, where his family is from. He came on the Metro to discuss his 91-year-old grandmother's experiences and how she's been affected by the Israeli military destroying her home.
It's also a re-traumatizing situation. It's not just a traumatizing situation, it's a re-traumatizing situation. My grandmother, the home that she was living in, had actually been destroyed by the Israeli military twice before. It was destroyed in the 70s. It was destroyed again in the early 80s. And I have the experience as an Arab American kid of going in the year 2000 and seeing her and my grandfather rebuild the home where it once stood.
I see you nodding your head.
Because it happened to our home, that the house that I grew up in. It was destroyed in 2016, and my parents rebuilt it, and now it's destroyed again. Same thing with my grandparents' house. It was destroyed in 2016. When I went back in 2006. It was both the 2006 war. When I went back in 2020, I did not know where our house was, where my grandparents' house, because it was rebuilt. So the area was all different. Nothing was the same as I remembered it as a kid. So it was destroyed in 2006. My parents rebuilt the house, and then my grandparents' house, I did not know where it was. It was different, so different.
So when you go back to Lebanon and you see a war-torn country, which Lebanon has been for a very long time, I wonder if you view it through two lenses: the lens that you remember it to be, and then the lens of reality of what it is now.
It is. That's exactly what I do. But I always I have that what it used to be in my head. I don't wanna see this. I was just there in January in Lebanon, and I went to the south once. I went to Bint Jbel. And I told my husband, do not bring me here again. I don't want to see this.
Because of the destruction.
The destruction, the road that leads to the south, looking at the road, looking at the asphalt that it was, reconstructed, and then seeing the rubble on the side of the road. And I was thinking to myself, whose son was lost here? Whose father was here? Whose child died on this road? And those were my only memories. I did not have a single happy moment on that road to my village. It was just sorrow.
What has it been like for your husband? Because it's primarily his family that you have the connection to right now in Lebanon. They're the ones that are still there, yeah?
Lots of sleepless nights. He's always on the phone, always talking to his family, always making sure. Like last week when we were talking about his sister, like I told you, she went back home. He was like jumping, like literally jumping, making sure that she's good, like calling his other brother, calling his nephew, share your location. I need to know where you guys are at. The minute they got to Saida, he was like, okay, they're in Saida now, they're safe. It's very sad that Saida is only 30 minutes away from where she lives. So it's very sad that 30 minutes
Is an odyssey.
It's like this is a safe zone. Why?
Only 30 minutes
Only
away.
30 minutes with her kids. Her oldest is 19 years old. Why does a 19-year-old have to go through that? Driving his mom and his sisters to make sure they're okay.
It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. If you're just joining us, my guest is Mervat Mackey. She's the owner of Divine Dine Detroit, a catering business in Dearborn. We've been discussing how she, her family here, and her relatives in Lebanon have been affected by the Israeli military's destruction of towns and villages in southern Lebanon, and what it feels like to try to support loved ones from thousands of miles away. And I want to talk about some of the ways that you're trying to do that. You're not just offering moral support. You're donating money from your business to those in Lebanon. What are you sending there to assist people?
I've collaborated with one of my friends. She's a chef there, and she does the same type of business I do. And I've collected money from clients. I've hosted a couple dinners, sold tickets, because also I do have a banquet facility as well with my business. And we've hosted a dinner, we've sold tickets, and all the proceeds that we collected, we sent back there. She cooked for, I want to say, at least 10,000 families. I know we sheltered at least 3,000 families. There was an area that people were living in one big gym. No dividers. One of the chef that I was telling you about, he went there and he seen how they were living, and he asked them, "What do you guys need?" And then one lady's like, "I just want to sleep one night without my head covered, without my head being covered." She wants to remove her headscarf, and she's like, "I need to breathe."
That would be if she was sheltered, if she was in a home.
Yes,
she could
do that, and then. So he put tents in that big area. So we did 3,000 for 3,000 families. We did tents for there where people could actually sleep with their hair being uncovered. Something so simple that we take for granted. And then we've fed so many people. We've provided personal and feminine hygiene needs for young girls that needed stuff. They were on the streets. Where were they going to get their feminine products? So having 2 teenage daughters.
It's essential.
Yeah.
Mervat, it's not lost on me that the way that you're raising this money is through food. And food is such a point of pride for the Lebanese people.
Yes.
I want to end on that. I want to end on having you talk a little bit about that and how making this food, I'm guessing, is offering you some level of comfort.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I told, when I hosted the dinner, I told like my clients, when they would call to book, I told them, they're like, "Well, what are you going to have for us? What are we going to eat?" I'm like, "Listen, you guys are going to have a spread on your table that if you were ever invited to any of those families in the South, that's what they would serve you, and even more." And that's exactly what I did. I collected $35 and $50 from people for a meal that you would pay at least $150 for. But that was my way of showing them how much love us Southerns have, us Lebanese people have, us humans have. Whatever you are, if you have love inside you, you can show it through anything you do, and I show it through my food.
One last question for you. What do you want the U.S. to be doing right now, given what is happening, the suffering that we've been discussing in Lebanon?
I want the U.S. to focus on us here. Yesterday, I was driving through Ohio, and there was so many dead buildings. And I told my daughters, I'm like, why are we spending money outside? Why can't we spend money here rebuilding this country? Because this country needs to be rebuilt. We need to rebuild it here, support each other here, and show people here what we can do as Americans. We need to have no hungry kids. We shouldn't be having shelters. Look at the shelters. Our shelters here are not because of war. Our shelters here is because of our doing. Because we don't have enough support for our people here. So we need to focus here on what America needs to do for us as Americans, and let each country figure out things on their own. We want to do business deals. We can do clean business deals. We all can work together here. Why can't we work together outside too? Clean and no blood.
Miravet Mackey is the owner of Divine Dine Detroit, a catering business in Dearborn. Miravet, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. Up next, your rent might come with a lot of extra fees for trash, for pest control, even for managing the boiler. What does that mean? An investigative reporter explains what's going on and what you should watch out for when signing your next lease. Stay with us.